What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I'm breaking down what's going on with SPY, Tsla, Nvda, the QQQ, and many tickers out there. I'm going to talk about what news came out that helped the market pump even more as something big just happened, and why this is going to be very, very interesting for how the market moves for the rest of the day. Before I break things down about all this information, before I talk about what's going on with tech and the different levels to watch for, I have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. Anyways, let's talk about the market, what's going on with all these different tickers. All right, looking at SPY, this thing's up about 0.5%. In my morning video, I told you that there are two levels you have to watch for on SPY. Basically, it's the pre-market levels. Had we broken below $450, we would have saw the market tank. If we broke above the pre-market high, not the high, but basically this level right here, around this 451 area, we'd likely see this thing test the high it made very recently, yesterday, around this like 452 level. If it broke it, it could have just kept going. And that's what ended up happening. So we got confirmation for the break to the upside. Now, the thing about this is sometimes patterns just don't play out, and there's a lot of trickery in the markets, right? This head and shoulders formation just did not play out. So we were watching for confirmation. We got confirmation that invalidated it. So now we're just watching how the market moves from here. But one of the things that really helped the market pump was we're getting a lot of bullish sentiments from many investors after we're starting to see some stronger than expected bank earnings. The majority of the bank earnings were quite good, as I mentioned in the morning, and that's what helped the market to start us off. But on top of that, we had even more news that came out. We have another, spending bill that came out from the House, which is likely going to add to more liquidity in the system. And on top of this, there are many analysts out there who are saying the market may be going to all-time highs very, very soon. Now, that's their opinion. That's up to them to decide. I'm not saying they're right or wrong because it really depends on so many different factors. It depends on what happens with earnings. It depends on what happens with the Fed. But it's worth mentioning that sentiment is still quite bullish and people are getting excited. Now, some new news has come out that Microsoft will charge at least 53% more to access a new AI tool in its Office software. That is very bullish for Microsoft. The new AI features that helped Microsoft absolutely explode. But to add on to this, not only did this lead to bullish news for Microsoft as a whole to bring in more revenue, this was also very bullish for other companies like Adobe and AI as they get incorporated into its software with premium subscription rates. Very, very bullish news for Microsoft, very bullish news for AI, and very bullish for tech, which helped pump the market even more. Let me show you what I'm talking about. In the morning, okay, tech was weak. Tech was weak. If you look at tech, first 2 hours, tech came all the way down. You saw the QQQ drop to 380, was red, trading sideways, looking weak. Then Microsoft comes down and says, hey, we have a new product. Things are looking good. And you could see the QQQ went from 381, now it's at 385. It just exploded. It ran very, very hard thanks to what was announced by Microsoft and also the entire AI world. If you look at Microsoft, this thing, just look at it. It was trading sideways. It was kind of red in the 340s. And all of a sudden, boom, this thing ran all the way up to 366. A crazy move to the upside. It's up almost 6% now. Crazy, crazy boom from Microsoft. And we're starting to see other companies following. Like Nvda is now up big time too. Nvda did something similar to what I was predicting. I told you guys we might get a test of the 50 EMA on the 1 hour around the 460 area. And we came down to 457, kind of like trade sideways from there. Nvda was looking kind of weak with tech in the morning. Then all of a sudden, Microsoft news came out, and Nvda has pumped all the way up to the level I mentioned if we did pump up. If we broke 470, I told you the next resistance to watch for is 475. If it breaks above this and starts going even more, because it's still looking bullish right now, we could see 480. So it's looking very, very nice. I just wanted to call out this move. We're going to be watching these levels now very carefully. If we break this level, we're going to be watching the next resistance after this at 475. We're going to be watching 480 on Nvda. That's the next important level. And as I told you guys before, I see Nvda going to $500 a share as we approach August. So there is still some more room for upside. Still looks quite good. For Microsoft, this thing is in this crazy, crazy high level. Is this the highest we've seen it? I think this is the all-time high, right? all-time high, or is it the all-time high? I'm going to have to double check on that. Uh, I believe this was it. Yeah, I think we made a new all-time high on Microsoft. Pretty impressive stuff. We're going to be watching 367, which is acting as resistance. So far, very impressive stuff from the stock, and there's no sign of it just like tanking at this point on. So it's holding up quite nicely. Very beautiful. We're going to be watching support at 363. And then also this previous high is going to be acting as our next support zone. So we can actually look at the smaller time frames to see how it's been performing. You're going to be watching this level right here. 360 and 363 are going to be our major support zones. 364.5 around there's going to be some support there. So watch it carefully. It's still holding up nicely. That was a very beautiful move. Now for the triple Q, it got the break above our zone. We're watching this 385 resistance. Once again, holding up quite nicely. The next major support is going to be at 384. Could this thing make its way up to 386? That's another possibility. I would not count it out because that was some very bullish news from Microsoft. And we have some big tech earnings coming out tomorrow, so that's going to affect this even more. So the support is going to be at 384 resistance. Now it's going to be very close to 386 if we get above 385 again. So watch those levels very carefully. It's going to see a lot of sideways action on 385. AMD is starting to show some life. It's trying to balance and trying to push up. It's going to test this high right here again, in my opinion. If it breaks it, we're going to be watching this thing get closer to 118 plus. Now, to add on to this, for Tesla, my prediction on Tesla was we would get a pump in the morning. We actually did not get a pump. It actually started selling off. Then I told you it would sell off around 287 or so. We actually went down to 286, a little bit lower. Then I told you we'd get a nice rebound after a few hours, and it's going to push all the way back into the 290s, and that's what happened. So I was right for the most part on Tesla. We just didn't get that pump I was hoping for in the morning before it ended up dropping. But that's okay because we ended up getting it later on. With the whole tech sector, Tesla's holding up, forming a nice inverse head and shoulder, and now it's going to be watching support at 290 flat. For resistance, the heavy resistance is going to be around this 292 area. We haven't broken above it yet, so watch this very carefully. But for now, Tesla's holding up. It looks more bullish than bearish, and I want to see it continue to hold in the 290s. Let's see if we can test 292 and try to break it today. On top of that, for SPY, this thing was monstrous today as well. Once again, getting the break to the upside. Now, the real question that comes to fruition is going to be, can we break above 453.5? Could we break that? If we break it, we're going to be watching 454. If that breaks, there's 454.5 and 455, which all become very possible. We also broke some heavy resistance around this 453 area, which is another bullish signal. If earnings that come out for tomorrow and beyond remain bullish and we keep getting good stuff over and over again, that's going to help this thing pump even more. So watch those earnings. So far, the market's liking them. The market's gaining lots of strength. And it's very important to note these things. If you look in the video, it's fighting 475 right now. The market's looking quite good. So watch these levels. Sometimes unexpected things could happen. That's why we're going to be watching for confirmation. If you're a bear and you want to see the market break down, one important level, which has been historical for SPY's rejections, is 452.69. That's going to be a major support, basically like the mid to high 452s. We're going to be watching those as support. If those fail us, there's 452.44, then 452 flat. And below that, then we have the previous levels we saw before, such as 451.36, 451, and then for the 450s after that. Do I see it dropping that low? As of right now, we just don't have the catalyst. The market just keeps going. It's forming another bullish triangle. Looks like it wants to continue to break out. And we're going to be watching resistance at 453.5. If we break it, it could get very close to 454. It looks more bullish than bearish. It's holding up quite nicely, so watch these levels carefully. And with that said, thank you all so much for listening. Watch the levels and just know that big news just came out. That's helping the market hold up. And do what you have to do going into market close. All right? Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy your trading. Market to the moon. The long term is very bright. And peace out.